The pick is in.
The Las Vegas Raiders have made a selection in the 2024 NFL Draft. Alongside Locked On College Football host Spencer McLaughlin, I'm Tanisha Batiste, and we're joined by your boy Q of Locked On Raiders to break down the Raiders selecting Brock Bowers with the number 13 pick. So, with the Raiders having drafted Michael Mayer, arguably the top tight end in last year's draft class, Q, were you shocked they drafted Bowers this year?
Yeah, I was. I was really shocked. He wasn't a guy that was on my radar at all. And so as I'm sitting at the draft and I see that pick 13 roll in, I didn't really know how to react because he wasn't one of those guys that we had thought about and talked about. And, you know, of course, we do all the, well, I think that this could be the pick. I think this could be the pick and why. And it makes sense. And, you know, I had talked about offensive tackle. I talked about cornerback, obviously quarterback as well. Never in any conversation between the end of the Super Bowl and the draft did I ever talk about a tight end. With that being said, Brock Bowers, I know, is a very good tight end. So it's not like I was shocked because they picked Damon Arnett. You know, like when they picked Damon Arnett, I was shocked because I was like, who the hell and why the hell did they pick him? That was a confusing pick. This was just one of those picks like, wow, one, he's there, and two, they just picked him. It's not really a need, but wow, he's a really good player. And like you said, you know, drafting Mayer a year before, I guess there's going to be a lot of two tight end sets. But, you know, even more time that I thought about it, after that, I thought, well, Bowers is even more than a tight end. He's just a weapon, right? And you can put him all over the field. So I'm thinking, all right, I'm really starting to like this. And then I don't know why it even surprised me, maybe just because I was stuck in my own little bubble. But, you know, Tom Telesco told us on Monday that, you know, he told a story about drafting Keenan Allen. Wide receiver room was packed, didn't need a wide receiver. Got Keenan Allen. He ended up being Rookie of the Year because, well, one guy got injured. You know, other guys weren't performing in camp. He ended up being fantastic. And so he let us know that he'll draft the best player on their board. I guess we just didn't believe him. And he did it when he drafted Brock Bowers.
Like they say, Q, believe them when they tell you because that's actually who they are. But thinking about Bowers,
right.
And you're absolutely right. He is one of those guys who's a hybrid. Yes, he's technically a tight end, but he kind of shadows and looks like a wide receiver. So when you think about that, coupled with the fact that he missed 3 games in 2023 and still led Georgia in receiving yards, does that kind of give you a sneak peek into just how special he is?
Yeah, it does. You know, and again, knowing how special he is already as a player, it really starts to make me fast forward and think, okay, well, what can he do and how can he make this Raiders offense that's much better? And the Raiders offense was bad in 2023. I mean, let's just be honest about it. They couldn't score 20 points. This is a guy that's going to be able to help them get points scored. And you combine him with Mayer, you combine him with Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers, his teammate in Zamir White that he had in the running back room. Like, I mean, there's a lot to like. I guess the biggest question is who's going to be the guy getting him the ball, right? I mean, it's Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew right now, where all the Raider Nation was really hung up on a quarterback, and Jaden Daniels was a guy, and even Michael Penix was the guy. And when Atlanta took Penix, it was like, oh my gosh, now what are you going to do? So panic hit in, and then when you get Brock Bowers after that, it's like, wait a minute, not only did you didn't get your quarterback, you got a tight end that wasn't needed. What in the world's going on? So Raider Nation started to lose their mind. But I think the more and more they think about it and calm down and relax a little bit, I think they'll like the pick.
Yeah, because he's the kind of guy that regardless of who's throwing to him, somehow he'll find a way to get to the ball. For more on the Raiders, subscribe to Locked On Raiders on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Now, Spencer, we're talking about Brock Bowers, just a special kind of individual. But in his days in Georgia, what did you see in him that told you, hey, this guy can be something special even on the NFL level?
It's about what we didn't see, and that's nothing. You didn't see anything from Brock Bowers except, oh, this guy's one of the best tight end products of the last decade or so. And I think the last guy that, really looked like him flew under the radar and George Kittle. And I think George Kittle has seen to it that, Brock Bowers is not flying under the radar. I thought this could have been a selection for the Chargers at number 5 overall. They went offensive line. They got Joe Alt, best offensive tackle in the draft. The reason I thought Bowers could be a pick is because Jim Harbaugh talked about, well, we view offensive linemen as weapons. Well, Brock Bowers can serve as both an offensive lineman at the tight end spot as a key blocker and as a pass-catching weapon. And I think that's why there was legitimate consideration the Chargers could take Bowers number 5 overall. This guy does everything. He blocks, He can catch short passes, yards after catch, run down the field. He does anything and everything that you could possibly want out of a tight end. I think he is the easiest evaluation in this draft of this is an A-plus prospect across the board, no matter which way you slice it. And I think the Raiders got into the spot and said, you know what? We thought we might have a quarterback available, but we couldn't make a move. There aren't any left. Let's take the best guy available, and that was Brock Bowers.
For continuing coverage of the 2024 NFL Draft, subscribe to Locked On NFL on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.